Good morning, everybody. Welcome back to Broyans Farm. We're starting off here pretty early this morning, strawing our strawberries. We have no wind, and it's going really good right now. So how this works is I have the skid loader, I'm getting the round bales. Dad has the tractor with obviously the round bale spreader on it. He's going through right now, and we're trying to do 3 rows at once. That's about as far as that thing will shoot. And this is basically what we're looking for. Just a nice even covering for not only the strawberries, but also the rows in between. That way when our customers are picking, they have a nice bed to kneel on. And so one problem that really hurts us is when the wind picks up. That's why we have to start early. Also, it gets very muddy and tacky on top as soon as that sun starts to warm up the ground. The guys we got the bales off of said that there should be around 25 bales in one round bale. We're not seeing that we're getting quite that many, but still it's working out really well and so much nicer than the square bales. So we went out the first drive road and we were kind of covering like 3 rows at a time. Our main focus was like the 3rd row in and maybe 2nd row in from the drive, because we can't go straight through the field and just pick rows we want to do, because this fence we have going along the outside is too close for us to get the tractor in individual rows. So we're kind of limited just by going out each drive road. So that means we have to be covering at least 3 rows, or at least reach to the 3rd row in, or we're going to be in trouble. So that was our main focus, and it's doing a pretty good job. But now we're starting to notice the straw isn't shooting as far as what we'd like it to, and we're pretty sure it's because the blades have just gotten dull after cutting so much straw. So now Dad is in the actual like barrel right now, sharpening the blades. When it's got a big heavy bale in there with a lot of weight, it really shoots it out far, which is nice. The lower the bale gets, the less pressure we have out here. So I would say we're kind of on the home stretch. Wind's beautiful. We've been out now for like 2 hours. We still have this row to do, as you can see. What happens is when we're trying to do like 3 rows at a time, we'll either get the 2nd or 3rd row really good, and then the 1st row always gets kind of left behind, I guess I'll say. And then we gotta go back over that, which isn't really a big deal, because when we go back over it and just direct it on 1 row like this one here, you can see how good it covers. I mean, it does an awesome job. It just kind of seems like over the next couple months, it's gonna disappear. And we want a nice bed in between the rows. If the straw is pretty thick, which I'm hoping it is, come, you know, time when the strawberries are gonna start growing, we're gonna have to take rakes and rake it back off the strawberry plants, which is what we'd really like to do. But a lot of times when we don't get it on real thick, between the wind and just the plants being strong enough, they grow right through it and you don't have to really do that. So if we don't need to rake it off, that means we're not gonna have a lot of nice straw between the rows, and then it's not nice for our customers. And we're trying to do both. The ground is just starting to get a little bit tacky now. The frost is burning off, and the sun is out pretty bright. So we're thinking we're gonna get about one more pass through here, and then it's gonna get pretty muddy, but hopefully we should be done by that time anyway. So that we finished the straw on the strawberries and the garlic, for the most part, we're moving into the greenhouses to sanitize these, which is the final major step before we start seeding, which will hopefully be on Monday. Today is Thursday. And so right now, Dad and I just got both hoses hooked up for both greenhouses. We're gonna both work in a separate greenhouse. That way, you know, we can just get them done as fast as possible. Everything that we don't want sanitized is out of here, and everything that we do is laying somewhere around here. We're using oxidate mixed with water, basically just a sanitizing solution. And we're just gonna go through, soak the whole floors, tables, not the ceilings or anything like that, but anything that did or has debris on it. That way we're killing any germs and hopefully starting with a nice fresh start. So we have the dosatrons back in here. This is our oxidate mixture. Looks just like water. That already got that whole half the greenhouse done. Now we're just doing this little section. So I'm back here at the trailer again. Well, what was the trailer? Everything is now completely gone. Concrete's gone. All the debris is gone. And so now it's just left to filling it back in and I guess spraying the grass seed. All that block we just brought in, tried to break it up as best as possible. But now what we got to do is there's obviously a well here, and so we're gonna bring this up and then cap it off in case we ever need or want it again. And so you can kind of see there's a lot of water in there, there's some debris, and so the guy we have coming, we don't want it to look like this, so we're gonna get this out of here and maybe even pump the water out for him just so he has a nice clean place to work in. That's obviously the pump there, and then that's the well casing, and so that's what he's gonna bring up above surface level and then just cap it. So I cleaned the debris out as much as possible, but it also got very muddy in there, so I couldn't really see what I was doing. And then I laid those like 6-7 block out. That way the guy who comes has a nice place to work. If he wants us to pump the water out, we will. If he doesn't, well, now he's got a nice place out of the water. So hopefully he can come within the next week here, and then we can get this whole pit filled in. The nice thing is that we have power, we have water if we need it. So if or when we ever decide to do something with this property, it's not gonna take much to get it ready. And now that the greenhouses are sanitized and cleaned, Dave is coming and he's gonna help me get the heat mat set up in the seed room, because like I think I said already, we're gonna be starting Monday. And so the heat mats are very, very important, because once we get those seeds in their trays and covered up with vermiculite or whatever it takes, they go in the seed room where it's at a hotter temperature, and we have the heat mats underneath them, because that helps the germination. And so without that, we wouldn't have near the stand that we really should. And so hopefully everything goes well with that. They work properly, because that is the final step. And then after that, I'm ready to go. And so while I wait for him, I'm gonna get some soil over here. While I wait for him, I'm gonna come in the shed, grab a pallet of soil. That way that's ready to go. If you remember a couple of videos ago, when we were unloading these pallets, they were borderline too heavy for the skid loader, and so I gotta break these down, or at least one of them. That way I can carry them over to the greenhouses without tipping the whole thing over. Okay, so I got the soil in here. Kind of messed up a little bit when I pulled in. No big deal, it's gotta get fixed anyway. I wanna put a new piece here just because of all the holes. So basically we won't be doing anything with this greenhouse for a little while, besides just maybe filling soil in here. But besides that, everything's gonna be done in number 1, which is right over there, for the next couple weeks. Dave and I are now in the seed room. We're starting out by rolling out our heat mats. Underneath our heat mats is styrofoam insulation just to keep all that heat in there. We have basically it divided into 4 sections. I'm working on one, Dave's working on the other, and then behind us, there's 2 more. The next step is pulling our string tight between each mat, because what's going to happen is we're going to cover these mats with screen, and then we're going to cover them with plastic, and then we're going to have no clue where the actual mats are. So we need to have everything marked out so we know exactly where they are, and when we put our seed trays down, we're putting them correctly on the middle of it. So you can see there on the side, Dave has them all marked out with black magic marker. Now we'll go through with our screen and put that on top. What the screen will do is basically grounds the heat mat in case anything would ever get punctured. You're not getting electrocuted. It's obviously being grounded to the table. And then we just take little cut-off nails to fasten the screen to the styrofoam insulation. And we are changing it up a little bit this year. Usually we cover all of our mats with a black plastic. This year we're doing white just because it gets so hot in that seed room, and we actually think we might be getting too hot. So we're going to try the white and see what happens.
An evil thing.
What does it do?
That's what we had in the roots of the strawberries.
Oh. Ow.
Whoops.
And so now we're going to start covering them. But now I got to head out to the market to finish the electrical from that pole that got tipped over or tipped sideways by that trucker. So with that being said, I'm going to call it a wrap for this video. As always, thank you guys for watching. And always remember, it ain't much, but it's honest work.